just haven't put together yet. I'll just start with, the turnovers. Obviously, they impacted the first half with the field position, and we didn't handle the adversity of it. The points off of the turnovers, and really didn't get the run game going as we had planned. And then with that, they ran the ball too well against us. So not a very good day. The unfortunate injury there to Andy obviously shifted us in a different direction offensively, but it's not what we're looking for. We need to be much better, and we're running out of time. I'll take your questions.
Mike, is there a sense of frustration, or how do you find a sense of frustration and hopelessness when all of these games seem to unfold the exact same way after the points you continually stress?
I would say frustration, clearly, no doubt about it. I wouldn't say hopeless, because that wouldn't reflect the men in the locker room. But frankly, talked to them at halftime about the "here we go again" mode on the sidelines, and we got to move past that. That's part of making progress throughout the season. We need to learn from our mistakes. We can't keep letting our mistakes holding us down and holding us back, because we obviously have made similar mistakes in different forms and fashions. But until we get the only one that's going to pull us out of the hole is us as a football team. So we got to be able to keep playing, playing to win, playing. Not to make a mistake. I felt like I saw some of that today. I'll obviously take a hard look at the video. It's part of the evaluation, but we're not cutting it loose. We look like we're holding back at certain points. So we got to execute better, obviously, and that's not. We knew that we needed to play the game a certain way today, and we did not get that done.
Just quickly on Dawson, how is he doing? And when he traveled home with the team, and that was just a nasty hit.
I have not been able to visit with the training staff yet on exactly Andy's situation. I saw Andy briefly in the equipment room. He's up and dressed, so I really don't have any update for you.
After the play, it seemed like it was a clearly dirty hit, and none of your players reacted in an angry fashion to take up Andy. I know no one condones violence, but shouldn't someone have gotten Boston's face?
Yeah, it was definitely a hit that caused a disqualification. But yeah, we speak all the time about playing for one another, protecting one another. So yeah, definitely it was probably not the response that you would expect.
When you say not the proper response, is that something you will address with your team?
I've answered the question. Can we go on to the next question, please?
Did you think the hit was dirty?
The player was disqualified from the game, so I think it was clearly. I think we all understand clearly what a hit is categorized.
You keep saying you guys can't overcome adversity. Why do you think that is right now?
I would say that, there's adverse moments we didn't respond to. I clearly feel we'll overcome the adversity of what, the experiences we've had in our season. So I do believe that.
Mike, are changes required? Mike, are changes required with this team, either personnel-wise or responsibilities with the coaches and who's doing what?
We've had so much change just in our everyday function. So I think the important thing is the state of the course. We understand the method and the things we need to do better. So this is a process, and obviously we're not exactly where we want to be today, but we've been challenged with a lot of moving parts, as far as a lot of different players playing. So we'll continue to work, and I do believe we will turn this in the right direction.
Do you feel like the players are still responding to what you guys are asking them to do?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I can only tell you what goes on every day, as far as the preparation, the daily communication, interaction with the players, throughout the program. We knew there would be adjustments throughout as a football team. We've been hit with a number of challenges that we're not pushing through right now. So we need to continue to work, and I believe we'll push through the other end.
We've asked
What
you
do
if
you see
if
as
the
the
players.
primary issues in the run game today, and did you make any adjustments as the game went along in the run defense?
You're talking about the run defense. Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Yeah, your run defense.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't play well enough. Obviously, as much as the thing that disappointed me was the yards after contact. But that's the part we need to. There was times where I felt like our gap integrity was pretty good, but there's too many yards after contact, so we need to do a better job there.
How prohibitive was the challenge of having the offensive line in the state that it was this game against that Washington defensive front? Obviously, a situation you guys are well aware of going into this game. How difficult was it just as an offense game plan and account for that and still running offense?
Well, I mean, we felt going into the game that their defensive line was the strongest personnel point of their team. So I think that answers how we approached it. And obviously with us going through the adjustments that we're making up front, I mean, that was part of our plan. And there was times where I felt that we were able to do the things that we set out to do, but there's times we were definitely playing uphill, and I think it was illustrating the execution.
These types of performances, practice in the opener, what they've done here this afternoon. The offensive line that are struggling due to injury and transferring where they can go up against good offensive lines and have these types of performances. Practice in the opener, what they've done here this afternoon. The offensive line that are struggling due to injury and transferring where they can go up against good offensive lines and have these types of performances. Practice in the opener, what they've done here this afternoon. The offensive line that are struggling due to injury and transferring where they can go up against good offensive lines and have these types of performances. Practice in the opener, what they've done here this afternoon. The offensive line that are struggling due to injury and transferring where they can go up against good offensive lines and have these types of performances. Practice in the opener, what they've done here this afternoon. The offensive line that are struggling due to injury and transferring where they can go up against good offensive lines and have these types of performances. Practice in the opener.
Can he give us a different spark? And I talked about this before the game started on our pregame show, that you may see a little bit more of Tony Pollard depending on how this game goes and what's happening with Zeke. We're in dire straits. We're not a very good football team, and the coaches may can see it getting better. We're not on the inside. But what we see every week now, the point production has gone down since Dak has gone out. Now it's showing the very weakness of the defense even more. Mm-hmm. It's showing it even more. We were like 8 or 9 points away from setting a record of 36 points per game defensively. So each man, check yourself, man, and coaches, do what you have to do, but we have to be a better product as Dallas Cowboy players. And I'm speaking from inside as a player, and I was brought up on this before as a player. We was 1 in 15, 3 and 13. So I had to check myself. Yep. And the check man was Jimmy Johnson, and the check man was Coach Landry, and those guys didn't buke so Coach McCarthy had to become the check man.
Yeah, he's going to have to play a factor in this. Now, Isaiah, whenever you looked at Andy Dalton early on, of course, he was under pressure for the majority of the game and ended up getting sacked a couple different times, took the hit in the third quarter. But what did you think about what he was bringing to the table as kind of a veteran quarterback? We saw that early on.
No, Andy Dalton actually was doing pretty well, to be honest with you. And I think we know that, Nate, as former players. I know from a fan perspective, people are going to say, oh, Andy Dalton's not Dak. okay, we understand that he's not Dak, right? And then the team has obviously had a little bit of a lull since Dak's left out. But Andy Dalton was controlling this team. He was controlling the line of scrimmage. He was hard counting these guys and getting them to jump off sides. He was continuing to move these chains along. He had a lot of pressure. Obviously, he had a ton of pressure, as so did DiNucci when he came in, right? Pressure was there. But when he had the opportunity to sit back there and deliver the ball, he was discouraged because guys were dropping the ball, right? He was putting the ball on the money in guys' hands and they were dropping it. Guys were just not making the plays they needed. And then obviously he had the one bad pass on when they kept running the flat routes, and then they ran Zeke on an arrow route across the middle towards right before the half on his back shoulder. You can't do that. He can't put the ball there, especially on a running back. And that turnover happened and took place. And up to that point, I felt like he was doing okay as a quarterback with what he was dealing with. He was
under duress.
He was on a lot of duress. And
yes.
I don't care unless it was Mike Vick or Kyler Murray or anybody that could run like that. He was going to be stressing.
Yeah, he was under duress the majority of the time, and only 4 completions to receivers not named Amari Cooper in this one. Both CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup blanked on that. We've still got more post-game reaction.
I would say probably just we got to protect the quarterback. We got to protect the quarterback better. I'm not sure how many times he was sacked today, but we gotta keep him upright and clean in the pocket.
Zeke, what was going through your mind seeing Andy help Dak just 2 weeks after seeing Dak get carted off?
Just how shitty this year's been. Yeah, just how bad this year's been. We still got a lot of time left. We got a big division game next week. So we gotta go out there and find a way to win.
Coach McCarthy said that Thursday's practice is really, really good, really spirited. He liked it, but he needs to get that translated into action on Sunday. How come it's not translating from the practice field to the game field?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it's not translating, but we gotta figure out a way to get this thing together, get this thing back going, or not back going, but get this thing going. Yeah.
What's the conversation in the locker room like after a loss like that in Washington?
We gotta stick together. During these times, we gotta stick together. We gotta have each other's back. We just gotta be better. We gotta go out there and execute the game plan and play better football.
Zeke, what does it feel like it'll take to turn this around?
We just gotta play better. That's what it's gonna take.
Zeke, have you ever been that frustrated before?
Say this again.
Have you ever been this frustrated before?
I haven't. We gotta keep grinding. We gotta keep working. Like I said, we got a lot of season left. Big division game next week, and we gotta just find a way to go get a win. I feel like once we get a win, we get some momentum, and we'll be able to stack success. But we gotta be better than we were today. We weren't good at all.
Zeke, on the interception that I don't know if it brushed off your fingers. Can you take us through what you were able to see from the moment? Obviously, it hadn't had a chance to read something.
Just broke it off. Ball's a little behind me, but I gotta make that play. I think that's it. I have to make that play, and yeah.
Zeke, how would you describe it? What would you say about what's happened so far through these 7 games?
Obviously we're beat up. We're missing a lot of key guys, but that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse at all. You're gonna lose guys in this sport, and you gotta have the next man up mentality. So you just gotta get these guys in the locker room going and get ready for next week.
Does this team have faith coaching staff?
Say it again.
Does this team have faith in the coaching staff?
Yeah, we do.
That hit on Andy might be the most. I mean, a lot of people would say that would be as dirty of a play as you'll see in the NFL this season. Do you think, as teammates, you guys should have been a little bit more aggressive after the play against John Bostic? A little bit more, might be pushing or punching him or any sort of response toward him. Do you think that's fair or no?
Yeah, I think you can say that's fair, but doing that you gotta be careful because we're already down a bunch of guys, and if you go in there and throw a punch and you get kicked out the game, you can't help the team from the sideline, or you can't help the team from the locker room, and so I mean we got to find a way to not cross that line, but we still got to protect our guys.
Do you wish you guys would have acted stronger in that situation or no?
I honestly can't really remember the situation that well or what exactly happened. But I mean, if you're asking that question, I guess I do wish we would have acted stronger.
Zeke, what did Mike McCarthy tell y'all after the game? I know he said during the broadcast, he said at halftime he mentioned, "Don't say woe is me," and that we've been here before. We all need it.
I'm sorry, there's a bunch of background noise. Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
What is the broadcast mentioned that at halftime McCarthy told you guys not to get into a woe is me feeling like you've been there before when you attempt to rally. What was his message after the game?
Just stick together. That's how we're gonna get through this thing. That's the only way we're gonna be able to come out of this slump is by sticking together and sticking by our brother and supporting our brother, and we gotta just figure this thing out. I know I keep saying that, but
Mike McCarthy said that Thursday's practice was a really good practice. He liked the spirit, the energy you guys had, but he wants it to translate the Sunday. How come it's not translating from what you're seeing?
That's a very good question. First thing I can think of, the other team practices too. We don't know how their practice went. But I don't know. I want the same thing for our ball club. And I agree, we did have a great practice on Thursday, and it needs to translate to the game. But one thing I know for certain, we're going to keep going out there, practicing good, and, time will tell if it translates. Hopefully it does.
Amari, what's the level of surprise when you guys work on correcting these things all week and it doesn't pan out again?
I mean, obviously you want to practice good and you want it to translate to the field, and it's very disappointing when it doesn't, because we put our all into this. This is our craft. This is our livelihood, and it's just disappointing when it doesn't. As far as it being surprising, yeah, I would say it's pretty surprising too when it doesn't happen, because you don't go out there and practice and say and even think that it won't translate. So when it doesn't, yeah, it's a bit surprising.
Amari, you were right there when Andy got here. What was going through your mind? What did you see on the play? And I mean, he got ejected, but would you consider that a dirty hit?
Man, yeah, I would, to be honest, because he was sliding and it was obvious, and that player could have easily avoided doing what he did.